Yennefer was sleeping at night. Suddenly, a large fireball crashed down on her head. She quickly stood up and cast a spell to block the fireball that could have destroyed the castle. Yennefer pushed with all her might to the side. The fireball was deflected back into the sky and exploded. The enemy wizard saw that his fireball had been neutralized. He immediately ordered his subordinates to launch another one, but each launch costs 1 life. The second fireball was shot into the sky, but Yennefer and the civilians on the other side were already in a state of combat readiness. So the fireball was deflected again. The Dark Witch showed a hint of surprise. Then she closed her eyes. The next second she conjured 2 objects out of thin air. She handed one of the iron boxes to her subordinate nearby, saying the iron box could make the opponent collapse from within. The next morning, Yennefer on the castle saw white fog suddenly rising from the forest opposite. It was the enemy wizard creating smog to cover the army's advance. The civilians on the castle prepared their bows and held the gate. Everyone entered a state of combat. Yennefer observed the enemy situation from the highest tower, but the fog was thick and she couldn't see anything. So Yennefer closed her eyes and listened with her ears. Sure enough, she heard the footsteps of enemy troops approaching from a kilometer away. She hurried to report to the dean. So the courtyard began to take action. The red-robed witch took off her gloves, placed her hands on the grass, and uttered an ancient spell. At this time, a large number of enemy troops were approaching. Suddenly poisonous mushrooms grew beneath their feet, emitting wisps of toxic gas. The enemy soldiers suddenly felt unwell. Then they fell unconscious one after another. Yennefer discovered another batch of soldiers coming from another direction. She had the civilians on the city wall prepare explosives and arrows. The enemy troops soon entered their firing range. Yennefer ordered a bottle of explosives to be thrown at a distance, instantly defeating the enemies. Just when Yennefer thought victory was near, the enemy's tactics were just beginning. The Dark Witch brought several archers to form a circle, then used magic to create a portal on the ground. The other end of the portal opened inside the castle.
Fire.
The archers shot arrows into the black hole. Then they shot out from the black hole on the castle floor. Half of the civilians in the city were killed or wounded. The dean, who was commanding the battle, found the Dark Witch alone, persuading her to stop immediately. After all, she was once the dean's student. But unexpectedly, the Dark Witch took advantage when the principal wasn't paying attention, and made her lose all her magical powers. The witch cast a spell. Many vines grew from the doorframe, slowly turning into a large net blocking the door. By herself, she held back the enemy forces outside. But even the toughest plants fear fire. A clever soldier scalded/burned the Scarlet Witch with a torch, but she still held on desperately to buy a little more time for the townspeople. But strange things were happening inside the city. The black box delivered to the castle by the enemies slowly opened. Many black insects spilled out. The insects crawled into the ears of the blue-robed witch and 2 young boys. Their expressions immediately became blank. They picked up explosive bottles and walked to the high platform preparing to throw them down. Yennefer saw this scene from the high tower. Just as she was about to stop them, she was suddenly ambushed by the blue-robed witch. The boy dropped the explosive bottle, causing a massive explosion. Yennefer and the blue-robed witch were blasted away, falling from the high tower. Yennefer adjusted her position and landed safely. The blue-robed witch fell to her death. The enemy's next wave